Dick Van Dyke just turned 100. Yeah, his wife is 40 years younger than he is. Yeah, of course. Right? Oh, but I asked my 30-year-old son to set me up with one of his friends. And suddenly I'm the weirdo. But he was 86 when they got married. And I think if I married an 86-year-old, I would definitely just stay with the standard 5-year warranty. And when they asked her, or told her this marriage will never last, I think that's when she put down the money for the extended warranty. Going on 100, and I got to thinking, I wonder if her friends text her every morning, is he dead yet? So I took my son shopping one time when they were preteens, and we're in the mall, and I said, before we go home, I need to buy some thongs. And they were just panicked, Mom. And then I thought, oh my gosh, shoes, flip-flops, that's what I need. You guys know I don't buy new underwear unless I'm looking for you a new daddy. My son, now that he's grown, is getting married, and his fiance asked me to officiate the wedding. Said she needed something old. But then she told me she found me on Instagram, which you all can too, and watched a few of my videos, which you all can too, and died laughing until she fell asleep. So I'm more effective than NyQuil, and certainly I'm a lot cheaper than her usual bottle of tequila. But I went to the University of Oklahoma, Boomer. Right, I do that in San Antonio, and they say, sucks. But I studied engineering, and it was a pretty hard thing to go through. The curriculum was pretty challenging, but I made good grades, so much so that a fellow male classmate of mine accused me of sleeping with a professor to get those grades. If only he had been smart enough to know, I was saving my flower for the university president. And I retired a few years ago from the Boeing company. I have a friend of mine, a coworker. Thank you for coming out, Sharon. And it's been a few years. It was right before all the issues started happening with the planes. I know, it's like I leave and the company, starts crashing. So, but people come up to me now and say, what's going on with the company? Like I got the inside track still, or ever. But I want to let you guys in on a little secret. They don't let women near those planes. Can you imagine if they did? A plane would take off from one city, land in another, fully intact. I mean, is that even possible? I think not. And then they've got women pilots, and here we go, a whole new set of problems we got to solve. First one is we got to rename the cockpit. But I think I got my technical savviness from my dad. He got his first computer in the late 90s. And back then, the web browsers didn't have the ad blockers and the pop-up blockers like they do now. So you would launch a website and just your screen would fill with all of these things. And he called me to come over and, because it was locked up for some reason. So I went over, and the first thing I did was look at the history on the web browser. My dad was watching porn. 80 years old, watching porn. So you might ask, Connie, what kind of porn was he watching? You all being a curious bunch, I'm sure. Lesbian porn. And you know, when I think about it, he did drive a Subaru once. So I'm thinking that's some solidarity going on there, but I don't know where he found these websites, so I blame his World War II buddies that he met at the mall for coffee. They weren't talking about the old days. Hey, have you seen this new website here? XXX.com. Yeah, guessing. So I went to Italy last year and was on a trip with 15 women over the age of 50. That's a lot of estrogen and hormone replacement therapy. I thought I was going to restart my period. And it was really bad because all I had were white pants. I did bring pads, but they were for something else. And you know, traveling's expensive. So I'm thinking, how am I going to make money, right? So I thought about an OnlyFans account. And, you know, then I found a new thing called OnlyGrams. So now you can buy a picture of me pulling a hot pan of chocolate chip cookies out of the oven, holding a cigarette, with a pot holder that says, "Bake it hot like Grammy."